Hello everyone and welcome to another week of writing and publishing. It's Monday and today was the last day of my short holidays with two friends who are also LitRPG authors. I left the hotel at around 9 am and headed to the airport where I spent around 4 hours at the lounge catching up on emails and tasks. So, like I've mentioned before, apart from writing books, I'm also a publisher doing English to German translations of LitRPG and romance books, which is where most of my admin time is spent on. In this case, some of our beta readers had finished with the books they were reading, so I needed to communicate with them. Then one of the translators I'm working with has an opening, so I had to communicate with another translator and shift one of their projects so that everyone could keep on working. And finally, I received an email from Amazon offering me a promotion deal for Physics of the Apocalypse 1. I accepted the deal because worst case scenario, the deal does nothing to book sales, but best case scenario, I stack it with other promotional efforts and more people get to jump in the series. In any case, today was a fairly tiring day and I only managed to write 600 words. On the flip side, I'm ready to hopefully finish writing the book this week and I also got a cool looking skin for my laptop. Hopefully tomorrow will be a much more productive day. Today was an extremely busy day. It seems that if you go on holidays for a few days, the work doesn't respect that and emails keep coming. There were quite a few tasks to be carried out before I managed to go to the cafe and start writing, and even there my mind wasn't completely focused. We had 2 more translations delivered today, which I needed to format and ready for release. There are a lot more things to do, but I try to prioritize writing, so some of them will need to wait for tomorrow or later today. At this point of the book, the main character is facing the big baddie, and I managed to write the whole fighting scene today. The actual fighting wasn't too intense since the villain is a swordsman with some magic and our hero is pure spellcaster, but there were a lot of negative thoughts from our hero and some conversation between them. I stopped writing at around 2.6 thousand words and I think I might be able to finish the book by Friday. Today was a bit of a rough day, but that's okay. I had a dentist appointment for crowns, so after waking up at 8:30, I went straight there. I was back home at around 12 and had quite a few admin tasks to finish. A new author sent me the signed contract so we can publish their series in German, so I had to process that and make sure our translators, proofers and editors were all informed. I managed to get out of the house to go to my favorite local cafe at around 2:30. In roughly 2 hours, I managed to write 2.1 thousand words, which isn't great, but considering I was in a bit of a pain, I'd say I'm happy with it. I still hope that I'll be able to wrap up the book tomorrow, as I'm now finishing the last scene of the book, and then I only got the epilogue left. I don't want to spoil too much about what's happening in the book, but I'll say this much. In the end, everything is fine. I don't enjoy reading books with sad endings, and I think we have a lot of those in real life. So for this reason, I've only written books with happy endings so far. Though who knows, maybe as I get older and grumpier, I'll give in to my cynical side. Anyway, that was my Wednesday. Waking up by your barking dog is always great, so I started my day at 9 am. Today's German translation release day, so I had to make some promotion posts for Realm of Archon Book 8. The Realm of Archon series is one of the genuinely oldest and most successful LitRPG series, and we only have 1 book left to translate. Once I was done with that, I started formatting another translation that is going to come out later this month, hopefully, and that is the first Arcane Knight book of the Order and Chaos series by Timothy McGowan. So around 12 o'clock I headed to my local cafe with the goal of perhaps finishing this series. Yeah, so also sorry about the extreme close-up of my hands and the keyboard. I thought I had zoomed out enough and only realized I didn't when I was making this video. So anyway, today's writing was perhaps the easiest in this whole series, and this was because I finally wrote the end to it. I stopped at 3.4 thousand words with exactly the ending I wanted to give to this series. This last book was especially dark, but in a different way. It had no amputations, mothers losing their children, or anything like that, but it dealt with mental issues and how important a support system and being kind to yourself is. Of course, there were a lot of deaths too, but I try to always finish with happy endings and hope the readers will be pleased with what I did there. This book ended up being just above 91,000 words, but I think it'll reach 95,000 by the time I'm done with the edits, which start tomorrow. Today is editing day 1, so I wasn't in too much of a hurry to get started. I've talked about this with many authors, and I know that most of us do not want to lay eyes on our book once we're done writing it. Sadly, our books never come out great straight away, so I want to edit my manuscript before sending it to my editor. The editor will of course catch any mistakes in the book, but if I manage to correct all of the small things myself, then they will be able to focus on the more important stuff. This can be inconsistencies in the stories or characters, perhaps little scenes that might help explain things better, and a bunch of other things I'm not detail-oriented enough to catch myself. Also, a couple of friends stayed with us yesterday, so I only started working at around 1 p.m. I try to sit and work in a different position when I'm editing, because this shift allows me to look at the manuscript differently and hopefully catch more errors. Or at least that's what I like to think, and thinking it helps is enough for me. So I did the math, and if I want to finish editing this book by the end of the week, I need to edit around 7 chapters per day. I know that getting into the groove of edits might take me some time, and for this reason I only managed to do 4 chapters today, but planned on doing 3 more over the weekend. Alright, so this was pretty much my Friday, because I need to get back home and get ready for a birthday party later tonight. Thank you for watching week 32 of my weekly writing video log for Physics of the Apocalypse Book 3. Okay, bye!